Thank you guys for being here, and coaches, I thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come and do this. I'd like to introduce our president of the Sun Bowl, Bill Kuhn, as well. Again, thank you very much for coming here. This is normally our coordinator's press conference, and I appreciate you all being here. They have a lot of planning to do and a lot of meetings to go to, so we'll make it quick. And I'd like to bring up first the defensive coordinator for Arizona State. He's Coach Phil Bennett. Coach?
Thank you. Good morning. I had a lot of memories coming back here. I came here as a player, and I think it was the only game that you guys ever had that was the next year. It was played on January 2nd, and I believe maybe 77 or 76. I played at A&M. We played Florida, and then Bernie remembers my time at Pitt. We had two powerhouse offenses, Shady McCoy, and we had Oregon State had the Rogers brothers. Was this 2008 or 9?
It was earlier than that, just a little bit, 2004.
Yeah, and there was a total of 3 points scored.
Yep.
So it was a good day for the defense, and I wouldn't mind that again. But I'd like to have the 3 points. But it's a great bowl, as everybody knows. It's been a fun year at Arizona State. A lot of things happened, but the kids are here ready to play and playing a very good North Carolina State team. We have a lot of ties there. Todd and I know Dave. I've known Dave since he was a graduate assistant at Drake. I've known a lot of their coaches I've worked with, so it's going to be a fun time. We have a lot of respect for them. Questions?
How's practice this morning?
It was good. It was as Coach said, we'll tell you, yesterday was a little bit trying. Everybody was flying in. Christmas Day, the mindset wasn't what you wanted it to be. But today, getting situated and settled, that much better practice this morning.
For you, Coach, personally, and I know things are different after this year, but going into this game, how are the players responding? I think to all the tumult.
Well, one of the things that I can tell you, I think that the transition. I think it's been really. I've done this 40 years, and I've been through. I thought I had seen everything, but I just added another chapter to my book this year. The demands of this job, as we all know, is tough. But Todd has made it a seamless transition. We've stayed on schedule. Our practices in Tempe were very much upbeat. I've been just about floored how things have been kept together. Of course, leaving with Billy leaving, getting his opportunity, that could hurt us. You always look at these games that are in transition, and as a coach, you say, God, I don't want that to be us. I'm not going to mention any games, but some of them you go, wow, that interim coach maybe shouldn't have coached that game.
Can you talk about the growth of the defense throughout the year from day one?
When we obviously the most thing I'm proud of them is that we got where we became a good defense. It was we started the year, we had new guys in the secondary, not many starts. Our front was okay, and then we kept people healthy. Had some huge wins. Beating Washington when they were number 4, and beating an undefeated Oregon team that came back and played well. Going to Utah, winning that game, I really felt our defense, we were able to feed off what we were doing. And but the best one was the last game. We played an explosive Arizona offense, gave up some points the first half, second half, gave up 6 points. And they're explosive, and they're a good team. So, I've liked the kids have been fun. I tell people, I said, it's a journey, and it really was a journey. You try to take them, and they did. They got better, and they got better. And I thought as a team, we were the type of team that we could pretty much play with anybody. Every game we played, we had an opportunity to win, and with the exception probably of the USC game. And I thought we were a team that we played together. I like what we did both sides of the ball to keep us in games, and I think we're a fun team to watch. I mean, special teams, we run kicks back, we block kicks, we onside kick. I thought that our game management this year was very good, and that gave us a chance in most every game.
Speaking about being a fun team to watch, who in particular should we, the fans and the media, be looking out for to defense?
I think on defense, the first guy I'm going to mention is Tayshawn Smallwood. number 90. Number 1, JoJo Wicker. I think that we have some playmakers at linebacker. I think DJ Calhoun. We've got guys at number 17, Jamarcus Rhodes. We've got some guys with some skill back there, and we have a freshman. There was a freshman All-American, corner, our boundary corner. Chase Lucas really did a nice job for us. And there's going to be, North Carolina State has some big physical receivers, so there's going to be some nice matchups going on.
What's your scouting report on NC State offense?
I think, first of all, I think they're very balanced. And when I say that nowadays, people say, well, what do you mean? They really do. They're a team, you look at them, you break them down for 12 games, and they're almost a 50-50 run-pass team. And they believe in running the football. And I think that is probably because, Dave's the defensive guy, and he knows the value of running the football. They're physical, but yet they have the ability to spread you from sideline to sideline. I really like their quarterback. He's I think Paradise Valley kid, correct? He'd gone to Boise and transfers, and boy, they'd get a good one. He's a guy he's not a runner, but he's a capable guy to extend plays. I think that they have the ability to their execution is something that I really think that through the year has really carried them on. You look at the teams that they lost to. I mean, the Clemson game, they're throwing into the end zone, at the end of the game to win that game. And I think, you can look at early in the season, they did not play well versus South Carolina and still had a chance to win it. And I think you could look at them and multiple people can hurt you. The running back is a 1,000-yard rusher. They've got 4 big receivers. I think all the receivers are 6'1" or 6'2", which is big in college football. So,
Coach, just more of a general question, but at least on defense, you have guys like Christian and Jamarcus, all Texas guys, who are big impact players in the secondary. And I know you have a number of them on the team, but what do you see from, I guess, like a player from Texas that makes them so successful, not just at a program like ASU, across the country?
Well, one of the things I think Todd's done a good job of is you've got to recruit. When you're at Arizona State, you got to recruit California, Texas. Your base is probably Arizona, but you got to go out a little bit. It's an easy flight, 2 hours. From DFW, our kids, and also, I'm always going to pay tribute to Texas high school football coaches. I mean, they're the best of the best. My brothers were both high school coaches, and they're so well versed in how to practice, how to do things, and I think they play with great pride. You look at the kids that we have. Chad Adams. Chad had not been a starter, came from Allen High School, and this year has just had a phenomenal year. And we've got some other kids. If you watched this year, I mean, Benjamin from Wiley is going to be he's going to be a difference maker. And so I think that I think they have Arizona State has a lot to offer kids that want the opportunity. Not everybody wants to go to A&M and Texas and and I'm going to tell you something. I say this because I've been in almost every league. I mean, literally, in my career. The Pac-12 is an excellent football league. How many top running backs did we play? I mean, my God, every week it was, well, this guy's number 1, this guy's number 2. They have skill in this league. And obviously, maybe the 2 top quarterbacks in the country are both in LA. So it's been a challenge, and I see NC State being that same type of team.
Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Bernie.
I've been doing this for a lot of years, and I get to see meet a lot of coaches around. Obviously at least a couple every year, and they're all here to win football games. We know that, but I don't think I've ever spoken to a coach or been with a coach at the Sun Bowl that cares more about his players off the field as much as he does on the field. And it's been a pleasure, talking to Coach and having this is our second time here. And that's the thing that stands out about Coach Graham is the fact that he really cares about his players not just on the football field, but everywhere. I'd like to call Coach Graham up here for a second. Coach?
All right, thank you.
Well, so I'm going to talk a little bit first about our experience here. I've been to a whole bunch of bowl games over my career, and none that's ran better and more first class than the Sun Bowl. We obviously had a great experience here a few years ago playing Duke, and so we've got a great history as a school. Arizona State, I think I've got to be good friends with Kevin Tillman, past brother, and I know past last game was here. And we've had a great tradition at Arizona State of coming here, and it goes all the way back with Mark the 50s. I mean, I think it was what was the first one? 52.
It's our sixth.
Yeah, it's our sixth Sun Bowl. So we've got a great tradition here, and I was born and raised in the great state of Texas, and so I'm a proud Texan. My wife's a sixth-generation Texan, so for us to come back here and for me to coach my last game as the head football coach at Arizona State in my home state is where I wanted to be, and I'm very grateful to the Sun Bowl, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to come and compete on Friday here and make this my last game at Arizona State. So offensively, to kind of let you know what's going on there, obviously Coach Napier got a head football coaching job, and so he's not with us. Coach Dave Christensen, we were very fortunate that we have a very, very experienced staff. Coach Dave Christensen, who was the offensive, you guys probably remember him from Missouri. He was the head coach at Wyoming. He was offensive coordinator at Utah. He was at A&M, very experienced football coach, and he's all year long been working with us. And he's been in the press box, so he'll be in the press box and call the plays down through me on the sideline, but he'll be initiating the play calls, and that way we have the least amount of change as possible. So all of our coaches that signal, and there's not anything changing other than that part of it. And we've been pretty organized in how we've gone about that. Obviously, it is a challenge when you don't have your offensive coordinator, but we're very, very prepared because we've got an experienced staff that's already been heavily involved in our game plan and what we've been doing. And one of the things kind of helped us too. We got an early start on preparation, so Coach Napier went through most of the practices in our game plan. We'd already gone through all of our stuff, so that's kind of to give you an idea of what's going to happen there. And just kind of my overview of North Carolina State. I think obviously from the scout report standpoint, their defensive line is special. As good as we played against, comparable to what we've seen when we played Washington. Their defensive ends are comparable to the defensive ends we've seen against USC. So very, very impressed with them up front, and then their forcing unit. I think they're very, very capable, very well coached, and a very good football team. You can tell, look at their record and who they played and how successful they've been. They pose a big challenge for us, and I think an interesting matchup in this game too is the efficiencies of each team's offense, and one of the things we pride ourselves in is taking care of football. And so I think you'll look at this game, and I think you get two teams that are very evenly matched, and it'll come down to turnovers. And so we know going to this game, the key factor for us is taking care of football and being +1, and that's the key for us. Questions?
You spoke about the Sun Bowl and the events that go on around the Sun Bowl. Is there anything that really sticks out in your head that you're either looking forward to or that you've already experienced?
I'm looking forward to that big steak I'm going to eat. I don't know. I'm biased. I'm probably biased because, and people probably get tired of me talking about it, but I'm pretty proud Texan. I just like being here. I like genuine people. I think the people that you're around, just the hospitality. I mean, my wife and I, the people that host us, that travel with us, that are in the hospitality room, just the experience and how they go about doing. There's genuine good people, and I like to be around good people, and so I think the events and how they go about doing this, everything's just first class. And you have to kind of go through the experience. And we talked about this, about how important these bowl games are, because these bowl games are very, very important. And anyone that doesn't think they are, haven't experienced it, haven't gone through it, for our student athletes to get the opportunity to be a part of the bowl experience. And one of the things our kids know, these things are, or an opportunity for them to continue the relationships and celebrate the work that they put in, and go compete to win a bowl championship. That makes the experience, that kind of caps it off to win. But it's very, very important. It's a very, very important experience for our players.
Talk about Bradley Chubb, what challenges he presents and how you kind of account for him.
You have to understand where he's at. You can't put yourself in a lot of situations where you're in drop back pass and having one person on him. You're going to have to chip. You're going to have to cover him down. What I mean by that is, you need to put a tight end over him where you can chip on your way out. You're going to have to help with him. He's as good as there is in the country, and not just there's a lot of guys that are great pass rushers, and he's as good as there is in the country, I think, rushing the passer. But he's even more impressive in how he plays the run and his physicality at the point of attack. So he's a guy that, and the thing about it is, he's not, when you look across the board, they're solid across the board. I mean, they are big, long, physical, and disruptive at the point of attack, and they're a formidable, up front.
Same kind of question from Coach Bennett to you. How do you deal with the tumult of all of this, and how have the players responded?
I'm gonna tell you, it's you reap what you sow. Our program, I coach these kids. One of the reasons why I'm so proud to grow up in the state is because I'm a coach's kid. Now, my biological dad was not a coach. He left my mom, and so my mom raised 5 kids by herself, and my coaches were my dad. My coaches gave me the values of character, emphasize the academics and being smart, discipline, and toughness. And so that's how we operate in our program. We're a 3.0 football team. There's not very many teams in the country. When I took the job, we were 2.2. And I'm very, very proud of that. And so how you do anything is how you do everything. And I think you have to model, you don't just fall apart when things go bad. And that's what I learned growing up. So we're not a program in disarray. We're not a program, and I'm gonna tell you, there's been you can't have many more distractions than what we've had put on us. Because it's difficult. And one of the things that was important, many people say, well, why would you want to continue? Well, how could I not? How can I preach values to these players every day, and then you lose your job and you just don't finish with them? I'm gonna finish. That's where I would, there's no. When I grew up, from where I come from, there's no quit in you. And so that's why I'm here, because I want to finish with these guys, and I want to teach them and model to them the values that we've taught in our program. And I think this last month has been a big deal because of that. Not only myself, but my other coaches. We've got, I think there's 2 or 3 guys maybe left on the entire staff. And that's just the coaches. So there's been massive amounts of change, but you won't change the culture in this program. When you truly have a program built on values, and that's what I learned growing up here. That's what I learned being a part of this great state, and growing up with the influence of Texas high school football coaches and the values that they instill. Now, I know people say, well, they do that in other states. I hope they do. I just know where I grew up and where I'm from, that's what I'm about, and that's what our program's about. And our guys we're not up and down every week. You get up and we should be preparing these kids. 98% of these kids aren't going to play in the NFL. 98% of these kids are going to go out there and they're going to work and get a job. In the real world, man, you can't operate on how you feel every day. You got to operate with results in mind, right? And so I've just tried to demonstrate to the kids the values of our program. So it hasn't been that challenging. Is it difficult to have 2 coaches at the same time? Is it difficult to go through that? They first looked at me really close, like the day after when I showed back up to work. They looked at me like, how's he going to do this? And I was the same as I was every day before that. So that's how we've handled it.
And then kind of a similar question I asked Coach Bennett a little bit earlier. Just I know you as with your background as coaching Texas high school football, it kind of shaped you who you are. But like one particular program, Allen, I know you spent a few years there. How does a program like Allen, which is which I'm sure has grown quite a bit since you were there. But how is a program like that? How does it shape the players to become successful once they leave a program like that?
Well, it was interesting. I mean, that's a whole story in itself. When I took that job, I was the 11th person offered the job. So when I got the Allen High School job, I was the 11th guy offered the job. No one wanted the job. They hadn't won a 5A game in 3 years. And we were the smallest, I think, 5A program in the state. Now they're the largest. And so the good thing's been at the right place at the right time. Because we were the fastest growing city in Texas, and we had vision. There was a superintendent there named Barbara Irwin, had great vision for that place and really where it is today. A guy named Bob Curtis was another person that really had a vision for where they wanted to go. And the thing that's great there when you go to a place like that, it's not just their football program. And you look at their fine arts, you look at their academics, everything they're doing. That's what I love about is the commitment that a place like that has to excellence. And it's not just that people, when they talk about Texas high school football, they get really confused, and they think it's just overemphasis on football. It's not. It's a commitment to excellence in everything that you're doing. So winning breeds winning. That's why we've got several kids on our roster and several guys that are coming to our program from that school. And my son actually graduated from Allen High School, so I'll always be at Allen Eagle.
Any other questions?
Any more questions?
Coach, you typically have the altitude advantage over the rest of the Pac-12. Do you lend any credence to the fact that you guys are playing at 3,000 feet, the Wolfpack are coming from 300 feet?
Well, I hope that's an advantage. No, I'll tell you. I can tell you when we travel to Colorado, we've been to Utah this year. It's a factor, and so I think it really helps you to be here all week. Be here for 4 or 5 days to really get acclimated. I think it's a really tough. I know when we go to Colorado, it's a major challenge. And our kickers love it. Paul carries a little bit, but I think you play in different leagues. It's different, but I don't know if that's an advantage or not. I know we're used to it. We're used to playing in those type of atmospheres and environments. So,
Anything else? Thank you, Coach.
Hey, Coach.
Thank you.
all right, thank you guys.